Welcome everyone to the afternoon question and answer session with Khenpo Tenzin. And we will be going through all of the questions that have been submitted online and for those here in person for this retreat. And our goal is for Khenpo Tenzin to be able to get through all the questions. We have quite a few. So the first question is, can you give a definition of an affliction or Mara or Klesha and how each affliction relates to the 6 paramitas?
Thank you so much for asking questions. And this question and answer time is also time to practice Dharma, so you arise bodhichitta for a little while. That will be great. And then, yes, in the Abhidharma Kosha text, it mentions about the definition of afflictive emotions. It says the afflictive emotion which arises in the mind of person, at that moment that person lost peaceful mind. At that moment that person engages uncomfortable and so forth. So that is very true. For instance, jealousy. Jealousy arises here and always very uncomfortable and unhappy. So that's why you will find it in Abhidharma Kosha text. And then how related 6 perfections is, for instance, actually we say 5 afflictive emotions, but there are numbers of afflictive emotions. Usually we count 5. So desire and the greed, they are related. Related means they are opposite of perfection of generosity. So the perfection of generosity is the antidote of desire, especially greed. And then moral discipline is also the antidote of all afflictive emotions, but that is also in particularly antidote of desire, attachment. And then the perfection of tolerance is antidote of forbearance. Forbearance is antidote of angry emotion. So forbearance or tolerance, yeah. And then the other for example, actually right now I say, oh, this is that antidote. This is quite hard to say because you ask me about the 6 paramitas. So 6 paramitas are the antidotes of all afflictive emotions. So that's where then concentration is antidote of the jealousy, and then this wisdom is antidote of self-pride. That is I grossly can tell you, but these 6 paramitas are antidotes of all afflictive emotions.
Next question. With regard to the 3 gates of liberation, how does the essence, cause, and result relate to emptiness, signlessness without characteristics, and aimlessness without goal? And how do they relate to the three marks of existence: non-self, suffering, and impermanence?
Yes, the first, the the three gates of liberations. So that means three gates of liberation. So first, sinlessness. Sinlessness. I thought yesterday Rinpoche mentioned sinlessness of result. Actually, that is sinlessness of cause. So the first is related to cause. So cause actually the sinlessness means we cannot say there is exist grasping, and also we cannot say there isn't existing grasping. So which means fundamentally everything is the Dharma Dhatu phenomena. So that's why we cannot say yes or no. This is the main ground. But yesterday Rinpoche mentioned the meaning of the sinlessness is very remarkable. It's really amazing. Exactly, especially he brought this Mahamudra path instruction. That is very gorgeous ornament. So then next is emless. That is related to result. It's a result is emless. So which means actually this ordinary five aggregates, those practitioners practitioner who gain this three get liberation, then they don't attach about this ordinary aggregates. Or this is my body, and through this body I get something. Through this body, something like they don't have this. They don't expect any results through this way. The reason is then the final one is emptiness. So emptiness means the empty of duality of subject and object. So that's the subject is mind. Object means this phenomena, for example. So when we understand about these three gates of liberation, we are going to understand two truths. That is extremely important. So in the relative form, there is five aggregates. There are five aggregates, and also there is the karma cause and effect. So karma cause and effect is truth. Exist means in the relative truth. For example, in the night we are sleeping. At that time we have a dream. At that time, whatever we dream, they are true. If I dream elephants, or I dream any other animals, they are true in my dream. But tomorrow, that next morning, I wake up, everything is not true. That's where relative truth and ultimate truth. These two are very important to understand. Always when we practice, sometimes we are going to bring them together. Sometimes we are going to separate. The reason is if we can bring together that we have less problems about the relative truth. Because that means we understand, oh, this is during the relative truth, everything exists, this exists, that is this. But in the ultimate truth, then there is nothing. So that is very important. So right now we are talking about three gates of how to say liberation is mentioned about. We have to understand two truths, and then this non-self, suffering, and emptiness. So they're all talking about the relative truth. Okay, I think you agreed. All suffering means in the relative truth. In the relative truth, I have a body, and then say I'm suffering. I'm suffering, yeah. And then I say there's no self. That is like a not perfect antidote of self-grasping. We just say no self, then we go towards one direction. First yes and then no. So which means we cannot rest between the yes and no. So that's why we have to understand clearly two truth. In the relative truth, there's yes, self is exist and no self is exist. In the relative truth, the self is existed. We all have I'm going, I'm talking, I'm doing. And then still we say we are learning Dharma in the relative truth. In the ultimate truth, self, no self or self is exist. This both we can't say. So that's where how they're related is we should understand through true truths. Okay.
Next question. Rinpoche talked about the Guru, and he said the Guru's mind and speech are more important than the Guru's body. Is it possible, therefore, to connect with Milarepa or other Gurus of the past, and if yes, how?
So, Lord Jigten Sungpo also mentioned that if you do not understand that your Guru is Dharmakaya, and you say you realize Dharmakaya is lip service, and if you realize your mind is Guru, and then automatically you realize Dharmakaya, there's no doubt. So Lord Jigten Sungpo said that. So Rinpoche mentioned this, the Guru's body is not important, means in the relative truth, that's very true. In the relative truth, the body is established the elements, outer elements. And then we come to the Vajrayana practice. There are two classifications. So in the during the generation stage, practice about generation stage, at that time we say we have an essence of elements. That is also very true. At that moment we are using very well about our body for attain the yidams and Buddhas and so forth. So the main thing is we have to understand that our mind is Guru, and Guru means our mind. So as yesterday you also asked about the co-emergence something. It's that means also this appearances. Guru appears to you at that moment. Where is it appearing? So where it appears? In your mind. At that moment, your mind and that Guru is co-emergence. So it's inseparable. So that's why, and then the reason we are very much think that Guru is our mind. The reason is, main reason is Guru in the relative form, Guru has a special blessing, which means when we see Guru or touch or talk Guru, we have some feeling. This feeling is pleasant or happy or some very joyful feeling. So that means blessing. And then we have we have a strong grasping, and then that grasping is like an ice. So then the faith and devotion is like the sun. So sun rays on this towards that ice water, and then this ice start to melt. So that's why our mind become very kind of soft, very soft, and all the feelings are kind of directly connected with the Guru, and then very pleasant. That moment, our grasping is start to untie. So that is the actually we think more the guru and our mind are same. But the another means, yes, the if we realize that our mind and our guru are same, then we easily connect. We can connect Milarepa and all of this. So that's Milarepa, when he collected wood and went outside. He went outside for collecting wood. He thought he make a boil of water, and then of course his body is was very weak, and then there was below wind, and then he fall on the ground, and then he stand up and he hold some wood here in the armpit here, and then he has only one wet clothes. He hold the clothes, and the wind try almost blow away it. He hold this, but then wood almost throw away, and then he hold this wood and clothes both, and then he was some little bit feeling of sadness arises, kind of loneliness or something, and then he aroused devotion and supplicate to his guru Marpa, and then the south side there was some clouds arise, and then he saw Marpa there. So that's where one has a special devotion, and then devotion is very pure like a mirror. So then guru appears there, which means guru and the mind is always inseparable. So that's where we can see guru easily. Okay.
Next question. Regarding Rinpoche's teachings on his own suffering and unfavorable conditions, in the face of my own suffering, I can recall one of my gurus telling me that great practitioners have many obstacles. Can you please elaborate on this?
Yes, actually guru has lots of obstacles. Means guru come as bodhisattvas, and at that time also they engage many obstacles, which means they purifies their remainder of negative karmas. Some of them, some particularly show us. For example, some think or this samsara is nirvana, because they think everything is wonderful. Usually we all have a very strong attachment in the samsara. We have a grasping. We grasp on our everything. So that's where some bodhisattvas they miraculously they show us that lots of suffering, and that we can learn a lot of things from them, because they have lots of facing problems, lots of obstacles, and then what they do, they recovered through practice, meditation, and so forth. And then we also have like a courage, or we also think, oh, if I do that, and then I also can become like that. So sometimes they show that there are different layers of bodhisattvas, ordinary bodhisattvas and bodhisattvas of Arya. Arya means who reached already gained the realization of bhumis. So those bodhisattvas sometimes show us that some special method. Sometimes they have these. They remember some negative karma, so they purify them. And another thing is, yes, sometimes no matter, sometimes we gain the higher levels, some obstacles arise. So for example, Shakyamuni Buddha, when he was 35 years old, around 5:30 a.m. in the morning, he started to become enlightened, completely enlightened. At that time, he has lots of obstacles. But right now, we are focusing about that. Those are not so strong obstacles. Our strong obstacles is I lost my mobile phone. What am I going to do? Something. I have a very serious dream. What I should do? So this like that. But Buddha's is subtle thoughts. Subtle thoughts. Even he rests in samadhi at ease. At that time, subtle thoughts arises. Oh, I'm going to purify this. Anyhow, he purifies imprint of this or obscuration of knowledge. So that's where most of the time they show us, and then we have courage. Oh, he can do, why we can't do? For example, even we learn Malarepa's song. Oh, Malarepa killed around 30 some horse and people torture through his black magic. And after he went mountainside, and then he become enlightened. Or then right now in this life we did not. Of course we killed some bugs and some of us Dharma friends may never killed a bird, single bird. So that's where you are the pure container of Dharma. So now if you, I think you don't want to practice as Malarepa to become a Buddha. I really trust. Because you did not engage like that. So that's where, Malarepa did attain Buddhahood in one life. Even he was engaged, serious, non-virtue. So why we can't attain Buddhahood? So we have this courage. That's where, so I think this is how we should understand.
Next question. How can I effectively measure the depth of my bodhichitta to fulfill Garchen Rinpoche's instruction on upholding Samaya, which is rooted in bodhicitta? I feel that I lack sufficient bodhicitta towards animals and beings in lower realms. I kindly request your advice on how to cultivate and expand my bodhicitta in these aspects.
Mm-hmm. So I think the best way is you have pets, yeah? You have a pet or favorite, or your friend, or your nephews, or other siblings. First, you training through this way, and then you generate bodhicitta more and more, and then slowly you go towards your whole relatives, and then your friends, and then your countrymen or something, and then slowly wherever you're facing, for example, you are facing east direction, and all of these beings have you generate bodhicitta, all of them, and then south, north, step by step, and eventually then you. So main thing is that we should practice experientially. You do it, and then one day even you don't know, suddenly suddenly you become bodhisattva. So that's where I think this is the pretty good. Okay.
Next question. Does giving rise to bodhicitta involve thinking of anything?
Yes, actually sometimes we have to, for example, in the temple, that's I sometimes do this. No matter who I know or I don't know before, and just image one person there and close eyes, and then generate bodhicitta, and then sometimes try. I know this person, so I generate bodhicitta a little bit, and I examine how different. And some I don't know, it's a new person come, I just generate bodhicitta and just examine. Seems there are slightly different. So this is that means it's I know some already, so it's quite easy to generate bodhicitta towards them. So that you do more through this way, and also some you like some animals, you focus them, and more generate. It's quite similar, like first question answer, but you should think. When first time you generate bodhicitta, you should think. May they have happiness? This is your thinking, yeah? And the cause of happiness. What is the cause of happiness? Cause of happiness is selflessness, free from thoughts. And all other things, may they have some good food, delicious food. May they have a good car, nice car, and nice friends, or something like. Always you think like this. This is how you start to increase your bodhicitta through thinking. So relative bodhicitta is thinking. It doesn't matter. Relative bodhicitta is thinking, so you think more. And ultimate bodhicitta is different.
Next question. When I experience something unfair, there is an unavoidable thought in my mind to hope the enemy gets his karmic result, and my bodhicitta is faced with a challenge. What is the correct thought and deed in this circumstance?
Yes, that's totally opposite. So this is pretty difficult, but if training about that, then I think it's become little easy. It becomes easy. So if you think someone has negative karma, did a lot of bad things, cultivated negative karma, and if you wish may this person experience this result, that is what? That is malicious thoughts. So this is really not good thinking. So that's wonderful. You have a special wisdom. You have a special courage to ask this question. Otherwise, try to hearing this. I can't share. Even you ask through in the public, it's amazing. So thank you so much. I rejoice that question, but don't think that. Don't think. Compassion. Give compassion. Not easy. First time not easy. The second time it's become easy. Third time it's become very pleasant. It's joyful. It's really happy to generate compassion towards that. So.
Next question. If a child takes refuge and then as an adult doesn't formally practice the Dharma or consider themselves a Buddhist, but they understand and have appreciation for much of the Dharma and are primarily a caring person, is this considered breaking Samaya?
No, never. Don't worry that. Especially since they were child. Me too. Even I did not know Rinpoche, but my mother. This is the Tibetan culture too. She took me into the Rinpoche, and he cut my hair. So I don't know where is my hair and how they cut. So it's then between there. Then the Rinpoche went to in the America and so forth. And I grew in that monastery, and after I traveled to different monasteries, but now I'm here. So that means a great blessing, because great blessing of Rinpoche. So that's where it means the never breaking Samaya. So especially you mentioned that they like the Buddha Dharma and they are good people. Good people is so important.
Okay, next question. Self-grasping is deemed so negatively as the source of suffering. It seems there is also positive self-grasping. For example, grasping to accumulate causes for enlightenment. Please comment on this distinction between negative and positive self-grasping.
Yes, actually, this positive grasping is whenever we practice mandala, this is positive grasping, because we own everything, whole universe we own, and then we offer that. For example, if I have the golden or gold mandala, real that made gold mandala, if I have, and the one, so if then there's some ornament, some decorated by some other jewels. When I offer everything, at the same time, of course, I should offer these small jewels. Likewise, we offer these gorgeous things, great things. At that time, small graspings are disappear at the same time. So that's why this is a special method. So many these mandala offerings, these things are related positive grasping, and also the when we start to help many bodhisattvas. Actually, bodhisattvas, they have many activities, so it's related. Some of their activities are related grasping. They are positive grasping. Negative grasping means only I and my, and that's a great question too, because we examining after that. For example, I need great things, and then my. So in the two ways we can examine that. One way is my is important. My things is important. My table is very important. So, and then we that means first we have strong I. So in the Chindakriti, as Madhyamaka text, it's explained very clearly. Tambonga hi dala hinjoshin, first crave for I. Tambonga dagande ngula chajurpa, and that after it says my. It's curve my. Sonchun da rawang mi bai. Sonchun means some collect gold under the ground. There are many like a containers, continually like that, like a mala. So rawang mi ba, no freedom from the hell realm to the God's realm. Between there it's a secular exist. So first he praised to the compassion. So Chindakriti is the heart son of Nagarjuna, but they have many gaps, about centuries. But because this heart son and real son are quite different, yeah. So that's why the what is the question?
The distinction between negative and positive self-grasping.
Yes. So that's thank you. When we have strong grasping, like I, egoistic mind, and then we have a my. So then you examining, oh, my means my people, my land. I'm going to take care of that. For what? That it tells us clearly. For future generations, for others, then good. For others means for benefit others, but for challenge others, for kill others. This is then negative grasping. For benefit others, this is a pretty good grasping. But I think very rarely practice with positive grasping is better, which means with selflessness. We try to more imprint selflessness in our mind. That is much better than the positive grasping, engaging positive grasping and negative grasping both.
Next question. Please clarify the 3 types of faith and the 3 gates of liberation.
Oh, yes. So the 3 types of faith is admiring faith. Admiring faith means, for example, our guru's body, action. So we admire, which means at that time our mind is pretty clean from the jealousy and other negative thoughts. So we admire, oh, nice, good, something like that. And we have, if we have enough time, I'm going to little bit talk about the aspiration more. So at that time I will talk more. And then yearning faith. Yearning faith is kind of a little bit, oh, that is good, so may I become like that. I would like to become like that. I would like to do this. What we do is good things, yeah. So, and then third is the trust. Trust means, oh, if I gain this realization, it never betrays, it never deceives us. So, for example, we thinking about a guru. Admiring faith is a guru's body and action. And then second is yearning faith is also related his speech. When a guru teaches or gives other path instructions, we follow that. We Guru says, oh, bodhichitta is very important, and it's at that time, oh, I would like to, may I attend, arise bodhichitta, something like that. And I really like to attend bodhichitta, arises bodhichitta. That means through Guru's speech, we hearing Guru's speech or teaching, and then we love to, we like to follow it. And then the Guru's mind, the trust in Guru's mind, that means Guru gained some realizations and we totally trust. Or Guru said he gained some experience, we totally trust it. So that's where these three faiths are them. And then three gates of liberation I already mentioned. Yeah, I think no need to repeat.
Next question. Garchen Rinpoche said the best way to honor the Buddha is to teach the Dharma to others using skillful means. Do you have ideas of how to do this in a secular environment like a high school classroom or any place filled with people of other religions or people resistant to Buddhism?
Yeah, this answer is quite difficult. Quite hard to answer that because there are. Perhaps I have to talk a lot. Otherwise, it's possible there is some misunderstanding. I don't know your question is wrong, but of course it's a great question. But we, for example, other religious practitioners, non-Dharma practitioners, for my thinking is we don't particularly bring them into the Buddhism if they are doing good. But they are doing some wrong thing, we should fix. That is our responsibility. But if I directly answer to your question is, you are right. If we utilize some Dharma words, I think it's quite hard to understand and then quite hard to keep relation and so forth. It's possible. It's depends with other people. Yeah. So the main thing is. You could show many good things to them. When you spend with them, you don't. You do lots of good things, and then compassion is common. Even Buddhists use it, Hinduism and all. I think they use compassion. So you try to promote compassion in mind, and then. Loving kindness. If we use bodhichitta, probably they don't understand. We use loving kindness, I think they understand. So try to promote loving kindness. And then if they have some kind of good karma, they start to, they're willing to know some about Buddhism. But sometimes you generally talk about during the conversation, you talk about Buddhism, how they have a kind of meditation part, and then other kind of teaching parts, and so for retreat parts. If you tell that, it's also a benefit. And then if you can explain about refuge, these are also great help. So I know you don't have that motivation that they bring into the Buddhism through the negative grasping. But you probably you love to bring them through the positive grasping. So that's where, through for that reasons, I'm answering to your question. So I think these are the good way, and then you should learn more about Dharma. Whenever they ask questions, you answer exactly the right way. I think that also helps them a lot. And then that's all, yeah.
Next question. If you are a Dharma sibling with a family member who increases your anger, how is it best to turn anger into wisdom, love, and light?
First, you criticize. You practice Dharma, what happened? Just kidding. So don't do that, okay? Don't do that. So you are I would say it's the great example in your sibling, and actually how to watch the angry emotion, I already answered, and this morning Rinpoche clearly gave pattern instructions. But generally, we angry. Sometimes we should a little bit research the angry emotion, and also sometimes we need the identification or identify that I am Dharma practitioner. Identity probably. Yeah, if I lost my tolerance, and then it's unsuitable. It's not suitable, and thinking like this, and a few times your commitment that also helps you. Otherwise, suddenly you be patient means so difficult. It's even all of us same. So you already prepare. You should know their behavior and those things, and then you prepare it from your mind. Okay, today don't think for many years. Just today, I try to practice forbearance, and I think this is the good. Sometimes you talk the qualities of patience, forbearance. For us, improve a lot through Dharma teachings. Do you notice? We teach. You listen Dharma and gives teach, and then it improves a lot actually. So that means that you talk about the qualities of forbearance with your siblings. So then that is also kind of a practicing of mindfulness. So mindfulness is always important, yeah. Other methods, you do something, probably it's coming. I don't know so much, but yeah, that's all.
Next question, which is related. When practicing patience when anger arises, does that mean being patient with ourselves by not reacting with anger, or being patient with others? Can you give examples of practicing patience in our daily lives?
If you become like a wood, that means you are patient. That Shantideva said, when somebody use harsh words, they say hinjim ne parsha. That hinjim is the wood, piece of wood, not like a tree at that moment. Just a piece of wood. If there is a piece of wood, how many times we use harsh words? It's always just there. Our harsh word is not stronger than the sunlight. Sunlight change their colors, yeah, but we can't. The harsh word can't do that. And also sometimes you training. When you come here, there are lots of benefit in the training room. Sometimes you are alone. You eat food, and people talk like some talks the great Dharma discussion, some talks other situations. It's okay. you don't listen each and every the meaning of that. You heard different sound, almost like a bird's sound, like a some probably criticize to you, but you don't hear. That's why you are laughing here, eat, enjoy, yeah. So you learn through this way, and then sometimes people use some harsh word is like an echo, like sound of this that what you heard from Jenny room. So that's where you don't want to know particularly. Oh no, I'm patient or something. Sometimes you automatically being patient, but it's a great question because we are quite hard to know our faults. So then the number one is we should understand the qualities of patience. Okay, qualities of patience. Patience helps in this life and next life. Otherwise, particularly, oh, I'm practicing patience. Maybe you heard that story in Lhasa. One meditator meditated like this, and the next person come to him, and he asked, "What are you doing?" I am meditating forbearance. And then he said, "You eat shit, yeah." And then suddenly he replied, "Shit or poop, shit, yeah." Yeah, and then he replied, "You too." So that means I meditate, but still there are good things. He tried to do that is good, but not best yet. So that's where most of the time see some disqualify or the mistakes or faults of anger emotion and qualities of how to say forbearance, patience. This is a good, yeah.
Next question. How can I best benefit beings while working in the healthcare profession with those who have disabilities?
Yes, that's actually they help us greatly. In the relative truth, they pay money. That's number one, and we have a job. Another thing is we can really increase joy, because this disability or what's it? They don't have arm, maybe they don't have finger or something. We have. So tell no, we have great things, but we are still suffering. We are this situation is okay. So we are going to sometimes happy. So dharma means we have to apply methods. So if we are too much grasping, oh, this is my hand or my finger, so I can't touch any broom or something. Oh, this is a golden hand, something like that. That is grasping. But sometimes, oh, I am lonely, I don't have help, I have no money, like a heart sutra, no, and I have a precious human life. I have this hand to work, even hand to eat and cook food. I have legs to walk. I have eyes to see beautiful views and lovely parents' face, and especially we have eyes to see our living Buddha, our Guru. So, and we have the great ears to see, ears to hearing profound teachings. So more happy. That's the immeasurable joy. So happy. And after, may all beings have these and bodhichitta. So you are in a very small room, or maybe in the tent, or maybe in the ground, whatever. But your mind is joy, happy. So that's where this is how should I say? Important, yeah. Important. Everything is important, okay? Yeah.
Next question. If nirvana isn't enlightenment, then what is it? Why is it proposed that bodhisattvas neither stray into samsara nor rest in nirvana? Please clarify this, as I've taken the bodhisattva vow. but I feel the main priority is to wake up from this dream, not stay asleep, as the characters and all phenomenon in a dream are not really real.
Actually, you all know that. You have a great marriage, great karma, and your realization is higher. How I can say that? Can I say that? Because Rinpoche gives you profound teachings beyond Nirvana and samsara. Samsara and Nirvana are same. When you heard Rinpoche gives the kind of course, Garchen Rinpoche and the other, all this precious gurus, they gives us that that means over the level or merits or karma are very higher. Otherwise, it's not easily receive kind of these profound teachings. So that's where now you ask these profound questions too. So, okay, bodhisattvas are nirvana, not rest in nirvana and not in samsara, which means non-duality. In where are they? In this dharma dharma space. Okay, where are the bodhisattvas? Which dharma dharma space are they? Some bodhisattvas? This is not so much our responsibility actually. Our main responsibility is we are going to on the space of dharma dhatu. So space of dharma dhatu means okay, there is something existing we don't think, or there's not something non-existing we don't think. In the Heart Sutra says there's no attainment and there's no non-attainment. Oh, this word liberated somebody who? Can you guess who? Garchen Rinpoche. His Eminence Garchen Rinpoche said that. He recited Heart Sutra, no eyes, no nose, no, and then it's a no attainment and no non-attainment, and then he wow. So that's where no non-attainment and no attainment and no non-attainment. That means non-duality, paramodal wisdom, intrinsic awareness, kundazambo, for example, or vajradhara. So that means changeless. So that's where the best example of empty space is this dhamma dhatu space is empty space. So in the Dzogpa Chimpa they mentioned a few. One is here under our navel abdomen area. So that's where we visualize the Hong Celebrate there. So we come. We should go that this is not so far. Not so far. For example, right now I hold this here. You see very clearly right now. I can't see here. That means I'm don't look at this. I always pay attention towards you. So I'm going to look here means I'm going to meditate. Meditate means all attentions don't scatter. Let it scatter, bring together, and then I should understand how to rest at ease. Generally we say rest and rest at ease different, yeah? That's you know. So why we should go to this dharma dhatu space? Here always say emptiness, emptiness. There's some reason. What is that? If I make notes, snake, actually I can, but if I make notes, snake, and after I put it in a small hole, after I put a few stones, not block the door, but some stones put there, snake cannot untie. Because that's a hole, I put another objects, stones. That's where snake cannot untie. So the existing means like that. We think, oh, this is exist, this is existing, then we cannot untie. We cannot liberate. When emptiness means if I make knots or I knot snake, many knots, and after I throw in the space little far, and then itself unknots. So that's where when you're talking about the emptiness, oh, these papers are emptiness. First emptiness, and then papers are emptiness. Books are emptiness. Oh, because each and every pages are not books, numbers are not, and the sentences are not books. Color is not book. Where's the book? Same like I. My head isn't I. My neck, shoulders, torso, and all under the crown to the bottom of the feet. Then I cannot find I. So that's where we. This is really important. That in the Buddha's teaching is very amazing. Even he makes some truth divided, like a relative truth and ultimate truth. In the relative truth, also teach the one by one. It's amazing. Even not particularly close the eyes, but recite Buddha's Suttara and focus there. It has great. We gain great experience. We say aggregates of form is like a container bowl, and then aggregates of feeling is like a food there. So first we put the aggregates of body there, and that moment we separate I and aggregates and body. We separate. At that moment we don't have I, and then feeling is there, and all of so everything is there, but not I is no existent. I is just to be label. We cannot find forever that. So yeah.
Next question. Are the deities all historical figures, disciples who lived, or are they sometimes symbolic representations of qualities we strive towards?
Actually, the deities, most of the time we suddenly introduce deities. That is my thinking. You agree or disagree is your freedom. Sometimes I think I gave you definition of deity as I gave you this Kundazambo last day before yesterday. And my main purpose or hope is you become Kundazambo. Not my main purpose is to see Kundazambo somewhere. So Kundazambo Samhita Badara is okay. If you become Kundazambo, you have excellent conduct. Similarly, Manjushiri. Manjushiri means Manju means this how to say the wisdom. So that's where they were people. So these yadams are people, and then they have special qualities. Compassion is a quality of Buddha nature, and wisdom is a quality of Buddha nature. And then all these good characters, conduct, and all of these things are qualities of Buddha nature. So that's where those bodhisattvas practice. For example, Manjushri practice more about wisdom, of course, at the same time, related, compassion, and so forth. And then he gained realization of paramoja wisdom, and then we label. So this is that's why I think you are so smart. Now it's right time to practice and learn both. When I learned the Dharma, Manjushri means since beginningless time attain Buddhahood. I think is inherently there are some. And then after studied, what I understood is I understood the history of Manjushri. In many years, he accumulated the profound merits. And then he followed the gurus and Buddhas. And then one Buddha predicted him in the future, you become like that and this. And then the power of his merit, and then he attained Manjushri. So Manjushri, you think there's only one Manjushri? No. Even if I know, oh, this student has more compassion, this student has more wisdom, and then I let improve more compassion, I let improve this student this wisdom or something, and then they will attain Manjushri and Avalokiteshvara. So that's where they all here, and then they appears in different forms, different colors, and so forth. So yes.
Next question. I've been taught that if you are a human and then reincarnate as an animal, that isn't good because it will take a long time to be reborn as a human again. But Garchen Rinpoche's story about the bird and being able to fly is good. Please clarify.
Oh, yes. So, birds, reincarnation means, in this case, we should understand reincarnation means some bodhisattvas, particularly reborn in the animal's body. So that's where they have freedom. If tomorrow they are going to say goodbye samsara, they can. So I think we do not worry about that. And then Garchen Rinpoche said about the birds can fly and they have beautiful colors. So that means this is actually amazing. That's what should we think. Okay, usually we say animals are lower arms. They are low. Only there. Women's, I'm sorry if it's hard, very rarely generate compassion, but lower arms, almost like a look down or something. Garchen Rinpoche said bird can fly means he sees some qualities. Bird has one quality. What is that? They can fly. So he saw that. And then some bird has some qualities. What is that? They are very beautiful colors. He saw that. So that's why we always try to see those things are important. And then in the animal realm, there are many bodhisattvas. So we do not worry about that. But you are right. The one thing is animals remain in the samsara very long. That's where Lord Jigten Sungku mentioned in the Buddha's single intention. Mishi temung ni ba yin le ji. Temung means ignorance. So they don't know how to purify the non-virtues. That means they remain with those negative karmas. So animals are our great object of compassion. So we should generate more compassion. But clarifying, I hope I make later clarify about that. If not, again we can discuss.
Next question. Today, Garchen Rinpoche spoke about taking on the suffering of others. How can I tell if the pain I feel in my body is the result of my own past actions or if I am taking on the suffering of others?
Yes, that's the great question. There is a time. When bodhisattvas act their actions, there is time. So if you're too early, you are right. So there is one story. One Lama Guru, he gives a teaching, and there one wild dog come there, and then at that time one person threw a stone and hit the dog. And of course dog is pain, and this Guru say, "Oh, like this," and people say it's artificial. Artificial, yeah, it's fake. But then after people look at his body. There is some sign that stone, exactly the stone which threw to hit the dog. So toning means that when we practice toning, if we are not right time, then sometimes regret and pain. There are many stories in Bodhisattvas. Sometimes they generated their eyes, one eye, and then sometimes these spirits gods, they test these practitioners great or not. So at that time, if we are too early to do the taking and giving, then is not right. Sometimes it happens. But when we bring others' suffering, means if you are right time to bring others' sufferings, then no, others' sufferings are not your suffering, your happiness. Their one suffering and bring here happiness. That means in the reality there is no suffering. But there are here one person has lots of problematic or problems there, and then that means that person has a strong dualistic perception. That person thought, oh, this is a real problem. But when you bring that at that time, then you know this problem is interdependence or emptiness or illusory, like a rainbows or dreams, something like that. So that's where you have no problem at that moment. Before you have this realization of power, then you can practice stoning. But how should you practice? Is you give all happiness and merit if you have no greed, and then you bring their problems, and some in the Vajrayana practice you can visualize yadams, and in generally emptiness. Om sobhava shuddha savadam sobhava shuddha hang means emptiness. So just dissolve into the emptiness. For example, one dirt you throw in the outside and wind blow away like that, and in the all problems dissolve emptiness, so you will not experience suffering and you can benefit others.
Next question. Is the reason that Buddhas are present on each atom because of our minds are shared in a collective consciousness pervading in space, separate from our bodies, existing in emptiness?
Actually, I directly say yes, but no. So that means because you think that everywhere has consciousness, that's where their Buddha's wisdom provides there, if my understanding is right. So your thinking is that way. Here right now my thinking is everywhere Buddha's wisdom provides, so their consciousness provide. Perhaps you are right, but the thing is in fundamentally paramajor wisdom. Fundamentally emptiness, for example, relative emptiness is empty, zero, like an empty space. So this Mother Earth, okay, there are 4 elements, 5 elements, but one is this empty space. If we divide it, separate each others, and it become what? Eventually it will become empty. So that's where the lower system of Dharma, even we practice these practices, and I don't have that exact name, so that's why I use lower. They think ultimate truth is like that. So there are different class levels of Buddha Dharma in Tibet too. So which means they think, oh, this is ultimate truth. That is ultimate truth. This is ultimate truth. Even until the Madhyamaka, in the middle way, they have different. In the middle way, they mentioned very profound this ultimate truth. And then Mahamudra and Dzogpa text mentions ultimate truth. So otherwise, so what I try to say is, first there are water, and then some cold wind blow over there, and then this water become frozen. For example, first there is a water, and I bring it and put it into the fridge, and then it becomes ice water. Likewise, so everywhere the Buddha nature provides everywhere, and then temporary obscurations just how to say obscure that. Yeah, my answer is that.
Next online question.
Mm-hmm.
New one. Rinpoche taught today that a Buddha is surrounded by emanations, listening to Dharma teachings. Can you please explain the meaning of emanation? Is it different from other dependent arisings? Can anyone see an emanation?
Yes, emanation. Emanation. Actually, I thought I know meaning of emanation, but suddenly I don't know it. Sorry for that. But what I think is the meaning of Rinpoche is saying is, for example, there are many disciples. Generally there says in 100 people there are some bodhisattvas. So that's where these Buddhas, the number one Buddhas provide everywhere. That is one thing. Another thing is Buddhas particularly become as Dharma protectors, and they are come to us and protect. Dharma protector means Dharma practitioners protector. So their responsibility is protect Dharma practitioners. So they come to listen Dharma, or they protect Guru and Dharma practitioners. So that's where everywhere the Buddha's emanation. I don't understand the real meaning of emanation, but hopefully you understand that. Do you understand? Thank you. You have a great wisdom. Otherwise.
Next question. Garchen Rinpoche spoke about recognizing the Dharmakaya as the Guru. Great masters have said that whenever we think of them, they are actually really here. When I think in my mind of Jigden Sumgen or Togden Rinpoche, be with me and help me and bless me, I can feel their presence and love with me. How are we one? Does this mean I have realized the nature of my mind?
Sorry, when first I listened that at some time my mind goes back again about the emanation. I think now I understand emanation. So emanation, Tibetan calls is like a trupa. So everywhere, yes, actually the Buddha's emanations are everywhere. So there says in the Chinese, image Chinese, which person want what things. If they want which language they spoke, or they want which kind of Dharma teaching they teach, and they want which kind of actions they do that. That's where the Buddha's emanations are everywhere. So that is very important, not only during the teaching, everywhere. So if you think that there are many people and you should trust, or there are some Buddha's emanations. So that's where whenever you're thinking about Buddha's emanation, you improve one samaya. What is that? You received the refuge vow. After you received the refuge vow, what did you commitment? I'm going to remember 3 jewels often, frequently. So that means you remember Buddha. So you remember Buddha means only this yellow color and this tanga, So you remember, there are lots of people, there are some Buddha's emanations. When you think at that time, you keep samaya of refuge vow, so that is very important. And then second, can you repeat?
Garchen Rinpoche spoke about recognizing the Dharmakaya as the Guru. Great masters have said that whenever we think of them, they are actually really there. For example, when I think of Jigden Sumgen or Togden Rinpoche and think, be with me, help me, bless me, I can feel their presence and love with me, how we are one. Does this also mean I have realized the nature of my mind?
Actually, you should know that Jigten Sumgen has a special dedication here in the yellow book. It also mentions they pray, even they recite a single prayers, they do not pray for them, they pray for us. And then we understand that. Should understand that. If one realizes that one's mind is Dharmakaya or Guru, and then it does not mean still Jigten Sunggung emphasize that you realize that. That means then you should react as a Jigten Sunggung, which means you are going to think that people who do not realize their mind is as Dharmakaya, may they realize it. So this is your responsibility. Another thing is, it does not mean you nothing realize about the Guru or Dharmakaya. It means in the Dzogpa Chimbo they say Sar Je Zosan. Sal means clear, Je means increased, Zo means completely increased. So that's why our realization is like that. Sometimes we realize non-duality a little bit. Our mind is little clear for a little while. And then if we continually practice, it's increased higher and higher. Eventually, we reach the top of the highest mountain. We can see everything, which means then we focus wherever we see everything is very clear. So that's why sometimes we gain realization means not completely. Sometimes we realize half. Sometimes we realize half more. So if you realize completely, and of course, still you can recite these prayers, and you can generate compassion towards others for realizing your same as your realization.
Thank you so much, Khenpo. We have now completed all of the submitted questions and can open it up to anybody in the temple here who might have a follow-up question or a new question that they would like to ask Khenpo. Just raise your hand and Tom will bring you the microphone.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh yes. Oh yes. Whoever, yeah. Or probably everybody can hear. Let's start from there because they. Oh,
wait, do I need the mic or?
Yes, you use
okay.
that.
Hi. We've been talking a lot about antidotes to afflictive emotions, and I wanted to know specifically what is the antidote to anxiety?
What is the antidote of anxiety is happiness. And when you have happy in the mind, there's no anxiety is like a darkness. Happiness is like sunlight. So, and then you meditate with happiness. Happiness more and more. And sometimes you directly utilize anxiety, and then just watch that. If you think that you are right time to practice that, you do that. Many practitioners freed from their meditations, free from anxiety through their meditations. But I engaged. I don't have anxiety, I think. But I met many Dharma friends. So I utilize, I try to lots of methods. Some methods doesn't help. But eventually the happiness, I have a little courage. That makes a lots change there. So keep happy with your body. You are young, and you have lots of wonderful things. Keep happiness, okay? Oh yes, please. Dharmakaya sound. Rinpoche said, wonder the ear sometimes say "kang." Rinpoche said that is Dharmakaya sound. Natural Dharmakaya sound.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think we've resolved our issue. At least I hope we have.
Thank you. So it seems like a lot of the teachings have been about being compassionate, and I think that mostly it benefits us probably more. But in terms of benefiting the being that we're being compassionate towards, I'm wondering if how that works is through your compassion that they sort of open up to their, like they recognize it in you, and then they sort of get in touch with their own compassion. Is that how it also helps? Just wondering if that's the process of, through your compassion, that other being, just gets connected with their own, like it's a mirror. I'm wondering if that's...
Actually, when, for example, I generate compassion, all of you, and when I was here, so just recently I said, as I have sometimes apply monkey mind, so I just test. Sometimes I generate compassion, all of this, and sometimes one person, how it works. Sometimes I little examine that. So the main thing is when we start to generate compassion, I have little freedom. We have little freedom. Less kind of uncomfortable or something like that, and automatically little relax or something. And then in the Dharma terms, in our body has many organisms. So we have our consciousness and their consciousness are very, very much connect, like a root of tree and a branch of trees. If we cut the root of tree and then branches start to dry, like if we water the root of tree and then branches and leaves are still green. Likewise, we generate compassion towards others. That main thing is it's a benefit to us. And almost 90% it benefits us. 10 more percent it benefit others. For example, in the relative bodhichitta, this is at that moment, when I generate compassion, at that moment, 90% benefit to me, 10% benefit to others. But if we calculate many years together, till now, Dharma flourish, Dharma exists. Many people attain Buddhahood through Dharma practice because of Shakyamuni Buddha's compassion. Otherwise, there are lots of powerful beings there. Of course, their compassion also liberate many beings. But in this case, liberate means Buddha directly bring thousands of beings are in the Dharmakaya. So that's where then is through generate compassion, we freed from obstacles, and that means it greatly benefit us, and the 100% great benefit other beings. So this, if you do you think it's little clear?
You mean once you realize that realization, then you automatically benefit other beings? Is that what you mean?
Whether you realize that or not. For example, right now we generate compassion, and we don't know how much benefit it for others. Even we don't know how much it benefit ourselves. But Buddhas and Gurus, they know. They know. And then eventually we know that our mind is Guru and Buddha. At that time we know, already I benefit like that. Already I greatly benefit other beings. I did not know that. So before we know, knowing those things, still we greatly benefit. And after we know that, of course, we benefit greatly.
Thank you.
Thank you. The one thing, I think we have less worry. If you are not worried, I'm not worried. So, for example, one Dharma friend asked question. This answer is not clear. If then again, other Dharma friends can ask similar questions, and then it's benefit both. Okay. There.
I have a question of the non-dual. Rinpoche this morning talked about the there's non-dual of the subject and object like this. But my understanding is if I talk to some person, my mind is my mind, his mind is his mind. So I cannot feel our mind is one. So I have not so good understanding the non-dual. So can you explain this again?
Oh, thank you. Actually, you are honest and say that. And before we listen many times from Rinpoche, and the other mind and my mind are same. Sometimes we don't try to understand that. But now my answer doesn't make sense clear for you. But I have one request for you, that since from today you try. Now you some understand the definition or classification, it doesn't help you. Best help is since from today or tomorrow you do it. No, even I am not a great practitioner, but I have little kind of confidence. Because Rinpoche always pulling here through my ears. My ear is not so big, so no, it almost filled to the brim here. So that's where I try to focus. Oh, it's same really. If I swore or what is it, or this ought or what, really same. So you experience, you do that, okay? Meditate, and then you get answer. Thank you so much. Yes. All over there, yes. Thank you.
I got the vision kind of to bring all cultures and tradition together as one, and I feel Gargyu lineage is the most pure transmission for like compassion and like a living wisdom transmission. And you have any recommendation how to make this wisdom accessible, like also to indigenous? Like I live in Mexico in the jungle, but like that everybody can resonate with it. No, it's my. If you have any recommendation ideas, I'm just asking. Yeah.
You said different cultures.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah, to bring it together, like towards through nature, no? For healing their roots and their traditions. But I feel with the Gargyu lineage, it's purifying for all, not because it's for all sentient beings, right? It's not. It's not only for Buddhism. It's for all beings.
Absolutely.
Purifying and healing, helping to establish through nature and their living wisdom, right?
Exactly, because every beings have a Buddha nature,
right?
And then through compassion, there is no enemies. There's no friend. I mean, no means no difference. They equally, the open prayer we says, who hated me or something, who destroyed to my even our practices. So we generate compassion. So compassion is there one word I forgot. Otherwise, it's cross the mountains and the rivers. That means there's no different. Oh, this is that, so I'm more that. There's no the kind of different between male and female, young and old, or there's not different. Compassion is like a sun. When sun shines, so whoever wants the sun's light and the sun's warmness or warmth, then everybody get it. So it equally helps to all the plants. Sun helps all the plants. All the plant, almost, yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, we have in Palenque, all tribes come together for unifying their ancient wisdom. And for this, I'm their guardian since 20 years, and I feel this Lama transmission is essential for unifying all. Like, all the tribes.
I see means what I understand is that in the Buddha nature, everything is same. Same means is beyond of different and same. Yeah, we call that still same. But in the relative truth, in different cultures and different way of practices, I think we should accept all of these things. For example, some likes to meditate only shamatha, let them do it, and then they come to the vipassana, for example. And some like to more chanting, let them practice through this way, and then they come to the Buddha stage. So Buddha stage is like this, and they come this way or that way or anywhere. Eventually, if they reach on the stage of happiness, then we always help them. So that. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Is there a difference, or what is the difference between Samantabhadra and Samantabhadri? And do women realize the nature of Samantabhadri, or do they realize Samantabhadra? And if it's Samantabhadra, is there a reason for the gender difference at a non-dual point?
In the relative truth, yes, the what's it, gender or this different. But in the relative truth, still we go up little higher way of relative truth, higher stage of relative truth. The one practitioner's clarity and bliss, union. So their union that called with Samaya Badara and Badara. So in the reality, the union of clarity and bliss, or emptiness. So we call that. But this appear outside as yidams and then male. But most time I use Samaya Badara. The Samaya Badara is female, is it? Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Okay. So as the do you get answer? Oh yeah. Thank you.
I have one question from the online chat.
Yes, please.
Rinpoche mentions that we should meditate more. If you could please explain how we should meditate, resting in awareness, shamatha, and how long in total we should do this each day.
Oh, yes. Thank you. So, Rinpoche does not mean that meditation means always stay one place, okay? No work, and no eat, no drink. It does not mean that. But Rinpoche's meditation is mindfulness. So mindfulness is the great or principle of meditation. So always apply mindfulness. So that's where Lord Jigten Sunggu says, if you are skilled in mindfulness, you are skilled in meditation. If you lost mindfulness, you have no meditation. So that's where you apply more and more. So whether right or wrong, I say that short and sweet. So when you meditate, short and sweet, not long and boring or bored or something like that. So yeah, do again and again. So if it isn't a harsh word, sometimes I think, so I say this, we all meditators of eating food. So we are always eat. So nobody say, it's your lunch time. Maybe some babies or some, they need this information message. Otherwise, we think spontaneously, oh, this lunch time, this break, we become familiar. Meditation means become familiar. We can meditate on compassion frequently. Or some ask about compassion, meditate more about compassion. Some ask a question about the tolerance, meditate tolerance. So first you are going to do. So we become like a divers. First I drive car, I learn car, I hold the steering wheel and very strongly and it's nervous and so. And then slowly, little familiar, but I'm not perfect driver. So perfect drivers free, and there are many cars, they acknowledge. So that's where when you meditate, the best thing is apply attentiveness. Attentiveness prevents all obstacles of meditation. And then mindfulness. Mindfulness means be alert, be awareness, to be awareness and acknowledge. So that's where you keep through this way. Then you need enthusiasm. But you don't. I think you don't think. But sometimes it's important to clarify. I said that how to say it? You should. Sometimes you particularly make sessions. Sometimes don't make. Sometimes you make session, or each day I'm going to meditate. Even you have some meditation cushion, and you have a meditation bell, and then it's helpful when you are there. You spontaneously meditate. You sit there and start meditate. You sit on the sofa. You start to look at your phone. Yeah, and you come into your bedroom, start to lie down. Likewise, when you wear your shoes, what do you start? Start to walk. Likewise, you sit on the meditation cushion or meditation room. You make a small room in your house. That's really good, especially when you have some depressions, difficult relationship with others, and sometimes some lots of kind of anxieties. You went in the small room, and then you meditate with the breath or with other pictures or other tankas and so forth. So frequently meditate, and then you are happy. Happy to meditate. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Khenpo.
Thank you. Is there one? Sorry. Yes, please. I'm not in a rush, but you are, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That means you are great practitioners. Yeah.
Well, maybe this will be quick, or not. How do you live for the benefit of others and establish boundaries? Also,
how do you benefit? I think practice immeasurable bodhichitta. Immeasurable bodhichitta. So you think all beings. So you think all beings have happiness and cause happiness. First, when think all beings have happiness and cause happiness, and then I move attention with one person, or may that person have happiness and cause of happiness, and then I move towards my mother. My mother has cause and happiness, cause of happiness, happiness and cause of happiness, and then examining how different. My mother has happiness and cause of happiness. That is pretty strong, but that means so these bodhicitta bring into that person, second person, and then again bring into the public. So that's good. Are you clear? Perhaps is it? I'm not sure how much it related to your questions, but when you generate bodhicitta towards your mom, for example, I'm very easy to generate bodhicitta towards my mom. At that time, this is pretty clear, pure bodhicitta, and then these bodhicitta bring into all the public, all the sentient beings, and then radiate, something like that. Then that means not boundary, is it? Do you clear? Mm-hmm. So bodhicitta, the first aspiration bodhicitta. One should practice aspiration bodhicitta. Which means one builds more motivation in. I'm willing to help. I'm willing to something like that, and do like that, and then after engage bodhicitta, which means you really put it into the action. Even put it into the action means Also you start to meditate, particularly, I'm willing to benefit all beings. This is your aspiration bodhicitta. And then engage bodhicitta means you come to sit on the meditation question, and then you generate bodhicitta. That is actually engage bodhicitta. And then of course other thing, you help others. Even somebody asks you where's some like a shopping centers, like a Safeway or something, you help them to this area there or something. Even some ask you the meaning of words, you help you through sincerely, sincere motivation. These are the engaged bodhicitta. So to generate bodhicitta, I think we need something and then help. Not always like that. So we build up together, more generate bodhicitta, and we increases. Our bodhicitta increases. Okay. Hopefully it get answer.
If anyone has any other questions, please approach Khenpo later at dinner time or after dinner.
Yes.
But we do have to wrap things up here now because we've got the Qigong class in a few minutes. So, Khenpo, thank you so much for answering all our questions. You've just done amazing. And if you could please lead us in a short dedication prayer to dedicate our merit.
Thank you so much. Yes, page number 28, the yellow open prayer book. Chancho semcho Rinpoche ma je ba nam je jar je ba nyam ba me ba ya kone konda be ba. Thank you. May bodhicitta, the precious and supreme mind, arise in whom it has not yet arisen. Where it has arisen, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. Thank you. I trust your bodhicitta increase higher and higher and higher and higher. Okay, thank you.